In the heart of the rugged canyons, where shadows danced with the rising sun, there lived a drifter known only as Sam. He was a man of few words, with weathered hands and eyes that seemed to hold secrets of the vast wilderness. Sam had traveled long and far, escaping a troubled past that haunted him like a restless spirit. Orphaned at a young age, he learned to survive by his wits and skills, becoming one with the land. Sam roamed these canyons not just for adventure but to find solace amidst the towering cliffs and whispering winds. Each step he took echoed the stories of those who had walked these paths before him. Stories of bravery, loss, and resilience. He often helped lost travelers or shared his meager food with wandering native tribes, gaining their trust despite his outsider status. The locals spoke of him in hushed tones, some calling him a hero, while others simply regarded him as a ghost drifting from place to place. As dawn broke over the canyon rim one fateful morning, Sam felt an unusual stir within him, an urgency that pulled at his heart. With the light shimmering upon the rocks, he caught glimpses of soldiers in the distance and sensed trouble brewing. A child's cry echoed in his mind, a boy taken from his family. It was then that Sam's journey would take on new meaning. Salvation awaited just beyond the horizon, and he felt compelled to act. In a nearby valley, hidden among the tall grass and wildflowers, lived a 9-year-old Comanche boy named Tyanada. Full of energy and spirit, he was cherished by his family for his laughter and adventurous heart. Tyanada loved to explore the land, running alongside the river and learning the ways of his people. He was proud of his heritage, often listening to elders share stories of bravery and the bond with nature that defined their lives. One fateful day, while he was gathering berries not far from his village, Tyanada's joyful laughter was suddenly silenced by the thunderous sound of galloping horses. A group of cavalrymen, eyes set on capturing native children for their own purposes, had come upon him without warning. The boy's heart raced as he tried to flee, but they were too quick. Before he knew it, strong hands had seized him, pulling him away from the only home he had ever known. Tyanada struggled against their grip, calling out for his mother and father, but the soldiers were relentless. They took him away from the lush valley that had cradled him in safety and plunged him into a world filled with fear and uncertainty. As he lay in captivity under a makeshift tent, thoughts of his family filled his mind. The warmth of their love felt distant now, replaced by a chilling sense of loss that settled in his young heart like a heavy stone. As the first light of dawn crept over the canyon rim, a golden hue bathed the rugged landscape in warmth. The sun peaked above the horizon, casting long shadows that danced among the rocks and painted a picture of serene beauty. However, this tranquility was shattered by the sight of cavalry rifles glinting menacingly in the morning sun. There they stood, arranged in neat rows, ready for action, as if waiting for a signal to pounce. Sam stood hidden behind a cluster of boulders, his heart pounding as he took in the scene unfolding before him. The sound of distant voices drifted through the air, mixed with the rustle of wind across the canyon walls. He could see soldiers moving about their camp, unaware of his presence. Each rifle sparkled ominously, reflecting his determination and resolve to save Tyanada. The urgency within Sam grew stronger. This was not just another day in the canyons. He could feel Tyanada's spirit calling out to him, urging him to act before it was too late. The drifter carefully planned his approach, mind racing with thoughts about how to outsmart the soldiers surrounding the captive boy. As sunlight flooded into every corner of the canyon, Sam knew he was running out of time. The peaceful dawn felt like a cruel joke against the chaos brewing nearby. With a deep breath and his instincts sharpened, Sam readied himself for what lay ahead, a daring rescue that would unfold beneath the brightening sky. As Sam crouched behind the boulders, a sense of determination filled him. He needed to act swiftly to rescue Tyanada, but first, he had to gather as much information as he could about the soldiers and their camp. Listening intently, he picked up snippets of conversation drifting through the air. Talk of supplies, watch shifts, and plans for the coming day. Sam recalled the stories he had heard from the native tribes about the tactics used against cavalrymen. He knew that distractions could buy precious time. With this in mind, He carefully scanned the perimeter of the camp for any possible weaknesses. The soldiers seemed to have formed a routine which he could exploit. A few moments later, an idea sparked in his mind. If he could create a diversion nearby, a noise or a disturbance, it might draw some soldiers away from Tyanada's makeshift prison. He envisioned starting a small fire or rustling some bushes further down the canyon to provoke curiosity. The drifter understood that this required perfect timing. Any mistake could jeopardize everything. Next, he thought of how to help the boy escape once he was free. He needed to find a way for Tyanada to blend into the landscape, perhaps by guiding him toward the river where they could slip away together. With his plan forming clearer in his mind, Sam took a deep breath and steadied himself. This was not just about bravery, but about using his wits and understanding of nature to guide them both back to safety. Was ticking away, but hope ignited within him like the first light of dawn. This was a battle worth fighting for. With a plan taking shape in his mind, Sam understood that he couldn't face the soldiers alone. He needed allies, and he knew just where to find them. The nearby hills were home to local native tribes who had lived harmoniously with the land for generations. Many of them respected Sam for his knowledge of the wilderness and his willingness to help others. As he made his way through the canyons, Sam called upon his instincts and navigated to a gathering place known for its vibrant community spirit. There, under the shade of a large oak tree, he found a small group of brave warriors discussing their recent hunts and stories of valor. As he approached, their conversations paused, and curious eyes turned toward him. "Friends," Sam began, his voice steady but urgent. "A boy named Tyanada has been captured by soldiers not far from here. We must act quickly to save him." He shared with them what he had seen, the glinting rifles and the soldiers' routines, and explained how a well-planned rescue could be their chance to reclaim the boy. The warriors exchanged glances and murmured among themselves. With each word Sam spoke, their resolve grew stronger. Finally, a young warrior named Koa stepped forward, his eyes bright with determination. "We will join you," he declared. "Together, we can outsmart these men." With Koa and a few other courageous friends at his side, Sam felt hope blossom within him. They would work as one to bring Tyanada home, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. With their hearts set on rescuing Tyanada, Sam and his small band of warriors ventured into the rugged terrain of the canyon. The journey was fraught with challenges that tested their resolve. As they climbed steep hills, they faced treacherous paths where loose stones threatened to send them tumbling down. Each warrior supported one another, showing strength and teamwork as they navigated the rocky landscape. They soon encountered a narrow creek swollen with spring runoff. The water rushed fiercely, making it impossible to cross without getting swept away. Sam remembered a fallen tree nearby, and with a few strong hands, they worked together to create a makeshift bridge. Carefully balancing on the log, they successfully made it across, laughter breaking through their tension as they cheered each other on. As they pressed on, the group stumbled upon a herd of deer grazing peacefully in a clearing. It was a moment of beauty amidst their perilous quest, but it also reminded them of the urgency of their mission. Koa suggested they use this opportunity to practice their stealth, honing their skills for the upcoming rescue. However, not all encounters were peaceful. As night began to fall, they found themselves shadowed by a band of hungry wolves. The howling pierced the stillness of the evening air. Quickly gathering together, Sam and his allies built a small fire to ward off the predators while discussing their next steps. Despite these obstacles, each challenge strengthened their bond and deepened their commitment to saving Tyanada before it was too late. As twilight descended over the canyon, the air grew heavy with tension as Sam and his warriors approached the camp of the cavalry. The campfire flickered ahead, casting eerie shadows that danced across the ground, where the soldiers sat chatting and joking without a care for what lay beyond their encampment. Hidden behind a thicket of bushes, Sam's heart raced, each beat synchronized with the whispers of fear and hope shared among the group. Koa, standing close to Sam, glanced at him with wide eyes. "What if we fail? What if Tyanada is already?" He couldn't finish his thought, but every warrior felt the weight of uncertainty. They had come so far, yet as they neared the camp, doubts crept in like chilling winds through the canyon. Sam sensed Koa's concern and placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "We're doing this for him. We have to believe we can save him." The words hung in the air, a fragile promise that ignited confidence in their hearts. Just then, a soldier stood up, scanning the perimeter as if sensing something lurking in the shadows. The tension tightened like a coiled spring, and every breath felt louder than thunder. The warriors exchanged apprehensive glances, minds racing with possible outcomes. Would their plans hold against the watchful eyes of soldiers? In that moment, Sam understood that they had reached a crossroads. Fear could either paralyze them or propel them into action. With resolve hardening in his chest, he nodded to his friends, and together they prepared to make their move, knowing that hope was their most powerful weapon. With a shared nod of determination, Sam and his warriors moved silently toward the cavalry camp, their hearts pounding with purpose. The plan was simple yet bold. While Koa created a distraction near the fire, Sam would slip into the shadows to find Tyanida. The air was thick with tension as they took their positions. Koa darted forward first, using his agility to reach a pile of supplies just outside the soldiers' view. With a swift kick, he sent a stack of crates tumbling over, causing a loud crash that echoed through the camp. Startled shouts erupted as soldiers jumped to their feet, rushing toward the noise. "Now!" Sam whispered urgently, and without hesitation, he dashed into the camp. He moved like a shadow, stealthy and quick, scanning for any sign of Tyanida. As he approached the makeshift prison, his breath caught in his throat at the sight of the boy huddled inside, fear written all over his young face. "Tyanida!" Sam called softly but urgently. The boy's eyes widened in disbelief. With a quick motion, Sam unlocked the crude latch holding Tyanida captive and pulled him close. "We're getting you out," he promised as they heard footsteps approaching. Just then, Koa returned to join them. Together they slipped out of the prison and into the cover of night. But their escape wasn't without peril. One soldier spotted them and yelled for reinforcements. In that instant, teamwork kicked in. Koa threw stones to create confusion, while another warrior prepared to defend them if needed. They raced through the shadows of the canyon, hearts pounding with adrenaline but fueled by hope, a daring rescue unfolding under the blanket of starlit skies. As Sam, Tyanida, and Koa dashed into the darkness of the canyon, adrenaline surged through their veins. The sound of hurried footsteps echoed behind them as soldiers shouted and scrambled to regroup. The night was alive with tension, but Sam kept his focus sharp, leading the way through the thick underbrush. "Over here," Koa urged, pointing toward a narrow path that wound deeper into the canyon. Their hearts raced as they sprinted, ducking low beneath branches and weaving between rocks. Just behind them, a soldier's voice rang out, demanding to know what was happening. The urgency of their escape heightened each moment. Suddenly, a flash of lantern light illuminated the canyon walls, revealing their position. "They're gaining on us," Tyanida exclaimed, fear evident in his young voice. Sam turned to reassure him. "We'll make it. Trust me." They pressed on, determination fueling their steps. As they reached the edge of a steep drop-off, Sam spotted a thicket of tall grass. "This way," he signaled, and they dove into the cover just as the soldiers emerged from the path, lanterns swinging wildly as they searched for any sign of movement. Breathless and hidden from view, the trio lay still, hearts pounding in unison. They could hear the soldiers' frustrated shouts as they passed by, searching in vain. Time seemed to stretch endlessly as Sam felt Tyanida's small hand gripping his tightly. Once the danger had passed, Sam rose slowly, signaling for them to move again. With renewed hope guiding their steps, they continued deeper into the canyon, knowing they had narrowly escaped capture, but still had a long way to go before they were truly safe. As dawn broke over the horizon, painting the sky with hues of pink and orange, Sam, Tyanida, and Koa finally emerged from the thick brush of the canyon. They paused to catch their breath, the relief washing over them like warm sunlight. The dangers of the night melted away, leaving only echoes of their harrowing escape. Turning to face each other, Sam knelt down to Tyanida's level, his expression softening. "You did amazing," he said, a proud smile spreading across his face. Tyanita's eyes sparkled with gratitude and relief as he looked up at the drifter who had risked everything for him. "I was so scared," the boy admitted, his voice trembling slightly. "I know," Sam replied gently. "But you were brave, just like a warrior." Tyanita beamed at the praise, feeling a sense of pride swell within him. Koa stepped forward. "We did it together. We're stronger as a team." The bond formed through their adventures was palpable. They had faced fear and uncertainty but emerged united. As they prepared to head back home, Tyanita looked at Sam with newfound admiration. "Will we always be friends?" he asked earnestly. "Always," Sam assured him. "You're not just a boy I rescued. You're family now." As they walked side by side into the light of day, laughter began to fill the air once more. With every step toward home, hope blossomed between them. An unbreakable bond forged in danger and strengthened by friendship, ready to face whatever lay ahead together.